Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of our Corporate Practice 1 class by the Diako Daniel School of Law. On today's episode, we'll be talking about our fourth draft. Now, in this draft, we are talking about resolution of increase in share capital. So our draft is for the resolution of increase in share capital. Do you understand that? Now, this is the fourth draft so far for our Corporate Practice 1 class and our Post-Incorporation Matters class, right? And we've talked about the procedure for the increase of share capital. Now we are talking about the resolution, how we draft the resolution. If you remember very well, in my last class, I told you that the draft for the increase of share capital came in 2015 question 2D. 2015 question 2D, Corporate Practice Nigerian Law School. So this is not me, I'm trying to let you know that these are areas that have come out in exam and these are areas that are exam worthy for us to look at, right? We have talked about the procedure. I walked you through section 127. I told you that when you want to increase share capital now, as opposed to previously, section 3 of the BFA, the Business Facilitation Act 2023, had introduced board resolution. So not only would a special or ordinary resolution as stated by CAMA or practice, if you understand, if you watch my video, you would understand what I'm saying. Section 127, subsection 8 of CAMA says if you want to increase the share capital, you increase by ordinary resolution. While in practice, they will ask you to bring special resolution. So not just do we have that mode or method through which we can increase share capital, we can also increase share capital through a board resolution. However, there are certain conditions attached to that board resolution increasing share capital according to section 127, which has been amended by section 3 of the BFA, that if a board of directors resolution is to increase the share capital, it has to be subject to the condition or direction that may be imposed in the articles or by the company in general meeting. So there are, certain restrictions, right? If those restrictions exist to, having the board resolution for increase of share capital. Now, right, we know that, you can follow through the board resolution by BFA, or you can do that of the members in general meeting. So what we are learning now is the draft for members in general meeting. Do you understand that? The draft for members in general meeting. Now, as I've stipulated in our classes, we've already had this procedural class. I'm just saying it for the sake of emphasis and recall in our draft classes. So now, in this our draft class, I told you that when you are about to answer this question in exam, I told you that when they say procedure for increase of share capital, I told you that after the board resolution proposing the increase of the said share capital, number 2 should be that the secretary should send notice of meeting to the members of the company, 21 days notice, pursuant to section 241 of the CAMA. Then I told you again that when you are stating the procedure, you will state that the members in general meeting will then hold a meeting where they will pass either a special resolution or an ordinary resolution. I told you that you should stipulate in exam that section 127 subsection 8 stipulates that ordinary resolution is what is required. However, in practice, special resolution is what the Corporate Affairs Commission demands for. Stipulated there in your procedure. Now, I then further told you that if you are told to draft in exam, that draft should be special resolution, what is required in law school. That's what I told you, Abi. And I told you that when you are about to do that, or if you are going to do that, before you rely on my words, go and meet your lecturers. CAC demands for special resolution. However, the CAMA says ordinary resolution. If this procedure should come out in exam, what should we do? Your lecturer will most likely tell you that you should state both in exam for the procedure, right? However, when you are going to draft, you should draft special resolution. Do you understand that? Now, I now further told you again that if you are going to draft further resolution per the instructions of your lecturer, that you should state as a preamble before your drafts that section 127 subsection 8 stipulates that for you to increase the share capital, an ordinary resolution is sufficient. However, in practice, the CAC demands for special resolution. So, therefore, you'll be drafting a special resolution as demanded by the CAC or as will be demanded by the CAC. But if your lecturer tells you that you should draft ordinary resolution, you will still state it as a preamble to your draft. The reason why you are stating these things as a preamble is so that the examiner, when he sees that, oh, you drafted special resolution, why did you draft it? He sees a preamble before that draft, something up before you now draft your special or ordinary resolution. Oh, the section 128 states ordinary resolution, but in practice, the CAC demands special resolution, right? I will therefore be drafting special resolution in line with the CAC's demands. Then you draft your special resolution. If you are drafting ordinary resolution, okay, section 127 subsection 8 states ordinary resolution. However, the CAC demands special resolution, but I will be drafting ordinary resolution in pursuance to section 127 subsection 8 of the CAMA. Do you understand that? So that the marker, the examiner would understand that you are not oblivious. The fact that you drafted one doesn't mean that you are not oblivious of the other. Do you get the point? That's what I need you to do. So before me, I'll be drafting special resolution because my own lecturer told me to draft special resolution during my time. I want you to go and ask your lecturer, which one should I draft? If she says draft special resolution, but put the preamble to your draft, letting them know that these are the two things, but this is the one you are following. If you are going to draft ordinary, put the ordinary, but still put the preamble in your draft. I'm trying to make you understand these things so that it will be easy for you. So now let's go to our draft. We have 4 drafts so far, and we are still on our post-incorporation matters, which is our topic 1. Now, if you have been following my draft 1 class, draft 2 class, draft 3 class, and this is our draft 4 class, you would see that I've taught you how to commence drafting the letterhead for drafts. At this point, I cannot keep saying the same thing over and over again. The beginning of your letterhead should be Yoyo Bitters Nigeria Limited, the name of the company as stipulated in the exam. Go and look at your exam question. What company are they trying to increase the share capital? Whatever name is there, write it in your draft. RC number. Is there RC number there? If there is no RC number, fabricate an RC number in your exam. Is there address there? If there is no address, fabricate an address in your exam. Is there phone number there? There is no phone number. Fabricate phone number in your exam. Is there email there? If there is no email, fabricate email in your exam. Is there website there? There is no website. Fabricate website in your exam. The reason why you are doing this is just for you to let the examiner know that you know what should be the content of a letterhead. So you are just fabricating. If the company, according to the question in exam, is Clyde Technology PLC, just put as your address. Even you can put law school address as the address. You can put email Clyde Technology PLC at yahoo.com. Simple. That's all. Number 0909090909. Put something. Just let them know that you understand how a letterhead should be drafted. That's all. Now, also, along with that letterhead is our ref for one side, your ref on the other side. That one again should be something that you should know. Our ref on one side, your ref on the other side. So the subject is special resolution for increase of issued share capital pursuant to section 127 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020. So there are 3 things that should be in your subject. 3 things. If you put these 3 things in your subject, you are going to get your full marks all the time. Number 1, what type of resolution is it? You cannot just say resolution pursuant to You have something has to be cooking in your head, except the board resolution. If it's a board resolution, you can say resolution plus 1 2 or board resolution plus 1 2. Do you know the reason you cannot put any other thing in board resolution? Because there's only one type of board resolution. Do you understand? There is no special board resolution. There's no ordinary board resolution. There's nothing like that. But you can't just put resolution for a members in general meeting resolution. You are putting resolution pursuant to. Nope. Doesn't work like that. Do you understand that? It has to either be special or be ordinary. So, and that's because of the number of votes that are required. If it is special, you need 2/3 of the votes of the people present that will be legible to votes and stuff. So you need to understand that. So 2/3 is required for special. So special resolution, that's the first thing. You tell us what kind of resolution it is. The second thing is, what is the special resolution for? The special resolution is for the increase in issued share capital. That's why we are having a special resolution. The special resolution is for the change of name of a company. The special resolution is for the alteration of the object clause of a company. What is the special resolution for? That's the second thing. Then the third thing is, what is your section? If you can put these three things, you are going to get your full marks for that subject. Once you have done the header the way I've done it, full mark for header, although that is probably half or 1, but it's still something. Full mark for subject, that's probably about 1 or probably half or something. That's little by little, you don't reach A. Do you understand that? Now, 3 things for your subject. What are they? Special resolution for what? For the increase in issued share capital. Pursuant to what? Pursuant to section 127 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act. Now we go on. I told you, at, off, at, on. So to the body, I have told you at, off, on, at. I told you, how do you remember it? At. The beginning is at. The end is at, right? Off, F comes before N. So it's at, O-F, O-N, then at, right? So at, O-F, O-N, at. The reason is, if you draft resolution, this thing might be confusing, right? At the extraordinary general meeting held on, although it's a distinction without the difference. Because if you say at the extraordinary general meeting held on so day of so company, although it's clumsy, but it's not necessarily the information, which is the substance, is there. You know the company that is holding it is Yoyo Bitters. You've stated it there. You've stated the date there. You've stated the number of the meeting, the 15th extraordinary general meeting. You've stated the location. Although it is not the way law school would expect it or how it's expected to be, but it has the information there. I will advise you, because we are gunning for academic excellence. Please, at the 15th, I have told you, put the number of it, of the meeting. Don't just say at the extraordinary general meeting. No. At the what number of the general meeting? At the 15th extraordinary general meeting, at the 12th extraordinary general meeting, at the 10th extraordinary general meeting, at the what extraordinary general meeting? That's my question. Do you understand? So in this case, at the 15th extraordinary general meeting, OF, after the at, then off, right? Of Yoyo Bitters Nigeria Limited, held on the 21st of May 2021 at Sheraton Hotel, Lagos. Do you understand that? So if you say at the 15th extraordinary general meeting of Yoyo Bitters Nigeria Limited, held at Sheraton Hotel Limited on, so day, should that fail you? Shouldn't, in my own opinion. You have stated what, ought to be there. But just follow what I've said. And again, go and meet your lecturer. If your lecturer switches it, your lecturer can decide to switch it, right? And say, no, put this here. My own is to guide you on what are the things that are expected. Your job is to now go and meet your lecturer. Is this right? If she tweaks it, they can tweak it. Do you understand that? But this is what is generally expected. This is what I used when I was writing my own bar finals at the Nigerian Law School. So if it is tweaked, please go and meet your lecturer to confirm. Now, the following resolutions were duly proposed and passed. You have to cram that one. The following resolutions were duly proposed and passed. At the extraordinary general meeting of so, you don't put a full stop because it is a full sentence. So you put comma because you are trying to say at this place, this is what happened. You are trying to say that at the extraordinary general meeting of Yoyo Bitters Nigeria Limited held on the 2nd of May 2021 at Sheraton Hotel, Lagos, the following resolutions were proposed and duly passed. Then you put a colon. 1 and 2. Now, this one might seem a little bit difficult, especially when we are talking about the draft of increase of share capital. But I can tell you it's very easy, right? That the issued share capital of the company be increased from 1 billion ordinary shares of 1 naira each to 2 billion ordinary shares of 1 naira each by allotment. You see that by allotment is very important. By allotment of 1 billion ordinary shares of 1 naira each, and the shares shall rank in pari passu with existing shares. Four things. That the issued share capital of the company be increased from what to what by what. Be increased from what to what by what, and what is the rank of the shares. Do you understand that? Be increased from 1 billion ordinary shares of 1 naira each. So we are increasing our shares, right? From 1 billion, we are increasing it to 2 billion. How do we intend to increase it? We are increasing it from 1 billion ordinary shares to 2 billion ordinary shares by allotment. That is how we intend to increase it. When we are talking about company securities, I will teach you what is called allotment of shares, right? So by allotment, that is how we intend to increase it. By allotment of what? By allotment of 1 billion ordinary shares. So we have to look at the exam. What did they say was the ordinary shares of the company before? We have to write it down. What did they say that we want to increase it to? We have to write it down. What is the method of increase, which is generally by allotment? We have to write it down. Do you understand that? And what is the rank of the newly issued share vis-a-vis the former share, that they shall rank pari passu with the existing shares at the same level? That's what pari passu is. They shall rank at the same level with the existing shares, side by side with the existing shares, basically speaking. So if the exam tells you that, that they want to increase the share capital of the company from, let's say, 100 ordinary shares, like 100,000 ordinary shares, to 1 million ordinary shares, that means that in exam, you are going to say that the issued share capital of the company be increased from 100,000 ordinary shares of 1 naira each to, that is, they would have told you of 1 naira each in the exam, of course, to 1 million ordinary shares of 1 naira each, right? By allotments of 900 ordinary shares of 1 naira each. That's basically what it means. Do you understand that? So it's just like if you want to invest in a company, right? Now, you previously had 1 naira, 100,000 naira as your investment. Now you want to increase your investment to 1 million naira. Of course, you have to add 900,000 naira, because what you had there was 100,000 naira. So that is what we are saying. We want that the issued share capital of the company be increased, right? That the issued share capital of the company be increased from 1 billion ordinary shares We want to increase it from 1 billion to 2 billion. How are we going to do that? But note that when you are talking about the shares, not only will you talk about the ordinary shares, you also talk about the naira nominal value. So we want to increase it from 1 billion ordinary shares of 1 naira each to 2 billion ordinary shares of 1 naira each by allotment of 1 billion ordinary shares of 1 naira each, which will rank in pari passu with existing shares. Simple. It's not hard. Do you understand that? So that's why I said there are 4 things that you have to look at. You have to look at what was there before. You want to increase it from what was there before to what you want it to be, to how you want to increase it, and to what will be the rank of the shares. Those are the 4 things. In your subject, what are the things? The kind of resolution, what is the resolution for? The section of the resolution. Your body, what are the things? At, off, on, at. Simple. Inside the increase, what are the things? You are increasing it from that the issued share capital of the company be increased from 1 billion ordinary shares at 1 naira each to 2 billion ordinary shares at 1 naira each by allotment of 1 billion ordinary shares of 1 naira each, which will rank in pari passu with the existing shares. I don't think that's hard. Right? I think you just have to write down this draft and you cram it, which shall rank in pari passu, right? Just write it down and memorize it. Once you memorize it, first day, second day, third day, just keep memorizing. And again, like I have said, my drafts are not final, but this is a structure that you can work with. My drafts are not final. Go to your lecturer. Ma, please look at my drafts. Is there anything I should add? Is there a way you would like it to be? Because their words are law. Mine is to guide you. Mine is to prepare you. Mine is to tell you this is what I used when I was in law school. And this is how I achieved a great result. Do you understand? But that doesn't mean that my words will now surpass my lecturers, because me achieving a great result was even through my lecturers, the words of my lecturers. So I want you to follow suit. This is what I used in my own exam. Do you understand that? Now, also number 2, that the memo and articles be altered accordingly. Naturally, when there is a resolution passed, a special resolution passed for the alteration or the increase of issued share capital, there is always a consequential alteration in that resolution that the memo and articles should reflect that change. So that depends on the change that you are talking about. So in this case now, that the memo and articles be altered accordingly. Right? The memorandum of association and the articles of association be altered accordingly. That is what we are talking about here. So anytime you are going to do a draft in exam for a resolution and you look at the substance of that resolution, which is going to affect the memo and articles, it will be safe to have a consequential alteration, which is should always be your number 2, that the memo of association and articles of association be altered accordingly. Do you understand that? Then after that, your date, which is always in the middle. I have taught you a song. If you don't know the song, for you to remember this, go and watch our first and second class, where that's our first and second draft class, where I told you that the draft should be down when you are drafting a resolution. It is not up, it is down when you are drafting a resolution. So please, make sure you remember that. And then directors should sign. Right? I told you that I prefer, if you look at section 100, section 101, section 102, I think more particularly section 101, right? You would see that a director can sign, a secretary can sign, 2 directors can sign. Me, I prefer directors signing, 2 directors. You can prefer 1 director, 1 secretary. Me, I prefer 2 directors. They usually say that you should put the name of the directors. Me, I asked my own lecturer, she said don't put name of directors. So I only put dash director. And I told you can see that I put sign there, that place in exam. If you are writing exam, don't leave your resolution without signing. You will lose marks. Sign your resolution. Every resolution, sign it. Every letter, sign it. Do you understand that? Every resolution, make sure you sign. Every letter, make sure you sign. So with that, I think that we've had a very wonderful draft class, and I think that is good enough. Our next class now, we are going to start class 28 for our post-incorporation matters, where we'll be discussing overview of reduction of share capital. We are still discussing our alteration of registered documents, and we will continue our discussion in our class 28 for alteration of registered documents. I will see you in my next class. Ladies and gentlemen, please have a very wonderful day.